Well, good morning, everyone. Glad that you're here today for our business boost. We have a fabulous guest, Steve Diorio. He's the assistant news director with WDTN, and he's going to tell us all about how to get news coverage for your business. So, Steve, welcome. We're very glad you're here. It's been a pleasure to work with you and meet you, and we're excited to hear what you've got to say and all the great things about WDTN and how our businesses can get involved and get some great news coverage.
Sure. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk with everybody. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a Beaver Creek boy, born and raised. I grew up over by Parkwood School in Seville Estates and went through the Beaver Creek school system, graduated at Beaver Creek back in '84. Um, it's a little bit different here at WDTN. I was here for 25 years from 1987 until 2012. The last 5 years, I was the news director, and then we had a new GM come in, and unfortunately, he wanted his own person, so I was let go. And then I actually moved to Alabama for 12 years. I worked for the University of Alabama, who owned a TV station, and we did local news there. We had a mixture of professional staff and students who attended the university who were going into broadcasting, so we trained them. And then, due to family reasons, my wife and family and I moved back here a year ago, and I was lucky to come back to Channel 2 as the assistant news director. So, my job is to handle day-to-day operations of newscasts. So, sort of give you a brief synopsis of what we do daily. We meet at 9:45 in the morning with all our staff. From there, we have our reporters who make their story pitches. We decide what we're going to have them do. They get on the road, start covering their stories. We assign our news photographers other stories to cover. Throughout the day, my job is to keep in contact with them, adjust when need be, work with our assignment desk, which is our dispatch area, so to speak. They listen to scanners, they handle the public phone calls, they line up stories, etc. And we go from there. We do a lot of news here. We do more news now than from when I was here before. So we do 4:30 a.m. till 7 a.m. We do both on NBC and Dayton CW. And then from 7 to 9 a.m., we do just on Dayton CW. We do from 4 to 6:30 on NBC, Monday through Friday. We do 10 to 11 on the CW. And then we do a half hour at 11 o'clock. And then on the weekends, we'll do 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. morning show. We do a half hour at 6, a half hour at 11 on NBC, and we do a half hour at 10 on Saturday and Sunday on the CW. So we do a lot of news. People always ask, is there enough local news to do that? And some days there is, and some days there isn't. But one of the reasons is financial reason, to be honest with you. It's cost effective for us to do local news and not have to pay for syndicated shows or anything like that. We can sell our advertising that way, which is how we make our money here. So we have a variety of stories that we do throughout the day. And one of the things I'm always asked is, why do you always do the negative? But we also try to do the positive stories, and we want to do the positive stories. We have a lot of segments that we do weekly: Tell Me Good News, Skills to Succeed, different things like that that would be beneficial, especially to businesses and things in the community. One of the things I think with businesses that you have to deal with us, always think of video first. We have to have that video to show on the air to help benefit the stories and help our viewers get a sense of what the stories are. And I think that helps show off your particular businesses. We do have an hour noon magazine style show called Living Dayton, which is more sales based. So that would we have a lot of clients that deal with our sales department to go through that type of show too. So if you have a business that is interested in that, you can contact me. I can get you in touch with those people. It's really beneficial. And one of the things I always like to share with business people. One time when I was in Alabama, and I went to an establishment and met the owner, and he was talking, and he owned this business, but he was also a car general manager of a car dealership. And he said, well, I dropped the advertising because I didn't think people were getting, knowing that we were here or getting any benefits. And we continued to talk. And then about a half hour later, he said, well, he goes, wherever I go, people notice me from my commercial spots. And I was like, well, wait a minute, you just contradicted yourself. If people notice you, then they're watching your commercials, they know you're there. So having advertising, having a commercial spot is actually helping you. And he was like, you know what? I never thought of that. You're right. And he signed back up as a client. So that was good for us. News has changed quite a bit over the years. This is my 35th year in the business, 36, I think. Dayton is the 64th market size in the country. When I was here before, this would be a second stop for people, reporters or anchors or anybody like that. Now, our last 5 hires are actually right out of college. So the business has changed quite a bit in that aspect. A lot of people are, for whatever reason, getting out of it. But I think we're seeing a turn where people are starting to stay into it more. There's a lot of long hours and pay structure that are changing, that are helping people. And part of my job is to help train these students because of where I was at Alabama. So,
with all that being said,
questions or anything?
yeah, I was going to say, just with all that being said, and the changes that you're mentioning. So you mentioned like with businesses, there's different opportunities. Um, what types of stories tend to be, I guess, more well received for businesses? Is it like grand openings? Is it, change the look? Like what kind of things kind of should people be thinking about? Like if our company or business does this, we should consider connecting with the news.
Sure. Grand openings are something that we do try to get to. Um, I think expansion of business is another area. I think longevity, anniversary type things could be great stories for somebody who has been in one particular spot, whether, there's been a company that's been in Beaver Creek for 80 years or whatever the case may be. I think those types of stories are really great. I think it can be a variety of different things. And it doesn't also, let me say this, it doesn't always have to be broadcast. We have a pretty robust digital team too. So if you have a business that's not very visual, there's still a story there to tell. And that our digital folks, digital reporters and producers can write up stories that way as well. And then we tend to share, we do share on broadcast if we can. But I think that nowadays, I think the door is open for stories. I mean, again, yes, we show the negative, and research shows that people like to see it, but yet, you also have people who say we see too much of it, which I get.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to know about it too. The public and the businesses and everybody has to let us know about these stories. We have to try to do a better job of finding those stories too, with our contacts and things like that. And that's another area where I really pushed the young staff, because it's a challenge for them every day. Like I said, we meet at 9:45. They're out the door, or they're making calls at 10 o'clock. Some of them have to be on the air at 4. That's not a whole lot of time to go out, and they do it all themselves. Like they go out, they shoot their own stories, they they do their interviews, they write their stories, they edit their stories. I've got to approve them. They've got to make sure that, everything's in place. So it's a challenge for them, but we cover 12 counties here. So we go from Mercer over to Clark to Montgomery, and Wayne County, Indiana is actually part of our DMA, and all the counties in between. So it's a pretty large area for us to cover. But we try to, one of my, people are sick of me here because every day in the morning meeting, I said, we've got to get out of Montgomery County. Like there are other counties. We've got to get to Greene County. We've got to get to, Shelby County. We've got to get to these areas because they are our viewers too. And that's part of the morning meeting discussions is the stories we pick. It may be in Beaver Creek, but how can we make it to where the people in Preble County are interested about that? So it's the old, one of my old news directors says it's what people are talking about at the water cooler. So
well,
those
with
are
that,
areas that we work for.
yeah, and with saying all that too, Steve, I mean, so how much lead time is helpful and most beneficial if it's not breaking news, right? To your reporters to get out and do stories. So if there's a grand opening coming up or if there's some kind of an event, milestone event of some kind, how much lead time should somebody reach out to you all?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Chris, because I've noticed since I've been back, one of the things is we're getting notices a day before, which is not really good planning for us. I would like to see things at least 3 days out, if not longer. We have a day book that we can put things in that we make sure, and everybody can see. We have it, news tips at WDTN.com is our email address. NEWSTIPS, news tips at WDTN.com. And everybody in the newsroom can see that. So it's everybody's responsibility to make sure that these things are in our day book. But the earlier, the better is for us. That way we can plan accordingly and we can make our adjustments. We're staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have overnight, we have a crew, a photographer on from midnight to 8. We have another one that comes in at 3. Our morning show people come in about 3:30 a.m. and work till noon. Then we start dayside at 9:45. Then our nightside crew comes in at 3, and we meet to talk about our 10, 11 o'clock shows then. So it's better for us as much in advance as possible. That way we can plan ahead.
So if I'm sending you an email to that news tips email address, what's going to catch the attention? Well, like what kind of information, the subject line even would be helpful for our businesses to help you all filter? Because I'm sure that if you get a lot of emails, like all of us do, it's like, how do I get it? How do I actually get noticed,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think it's just the basics though, and really the selling point is why you're doing it. Again, you talk about, hey, we're having a ribbon cutting or a groundbreaking for a grand opening. Well, why are you doing it? How many people is it going to employ? Or are you adding jobs? Or things like that nature really are things that, the economy is always a big thing for us. Positive economy stories. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do the ones that, if you have layoffs and things like that, but you also have to be receptive of that, even though it may sting. That way, if you do rebound, they're going to make sure we're there for the rebound. Those types, accountability of things for people. Those are types of things. But back to your point, just what the real reason why we should come, like why you're doing the ribbon cutting, that type of stuff is what we want to know.
Anybody else have any questions? Wendy, you got anything over there as you drinking your coffee? And you're muted.
I have a question.
Yeah, go, Lynn.
So with the Living Dayton segments, are those something that are only done in studio, or do you go out to the businesses for that too?
No, they've gone out. They've gone out before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are those are, I know they went out someplace yesterday. I can't remember where they went, but they do go out.
Okay.
What they do, like if you have restaurants or things like that, they bring people on as far as like cooking segments or different events that they may be doing. Businesses, the same situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're an NBC station and a CW. We're actually owned by Nexstar, which is now going to be the biggest broadcasting company in the country because the FCC just approved on Friday a merger with Tegna, which is TV stations. Now there's no Tegna station here. There's actually one in Columbus. Excuse me. And we also have a Nexstar station there. So I'm curious on how that's going to work. But we have stations all over the country. So if your business would have businesses elsewhere that there may be something related that way or anything like that, we can always look at that angle as well.
Now, Steve, with your reporters, are any of them particularly like assigned to Greene County or specific places, or is it kind of however coverage can get taken?
No, that's a great question. We're actually in the works of doing that. I've been pushing for that we need to assign one county to one particular person and have them make contacts with with a variety of people in those counties. And again, it's getting back to having the contacts, and it's getting back to, even if it's just a phone call or, we take a day, we take them out of the mix. Like I came and visited you and Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
We let them do that, make some rounds, meet people in person, and then take a day like every month or 2 days every month when they're here. And the schedule allows them just to go pop in and find these stories. That's a way for us to be covered everywhere. Excuse me, I should have brought some water. But that's something that we're working on.
Yeah. Well, I was just
and it
thinking,
could be, you guys, it could be, local police, local fire, local government. It's got to be all the elements for us to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. I know that we've been contacted by like the Beaver Creek News Current and different things like that, Cox Media, the new editor over there, and have a relationship like we do with you, Steve. And it's nice because almost every week he'll reach out to me and be like, Wendy, is there anything going on in Beaver
Right.
Creek or around the area? And I can send him a quick little email with some updates, and then it's up to him to, take it from there or what he wants to do. But
Right.
I love that you recognize that chambers can be such a big help or a big connection for you and for the reporters, because we have so many businesses. And I'm just thinking I need to send you some information on some expansions and some anniversary things that are coming up with some of the businesses around Greene County too. So I would love that if we had a particular reporter that was assigned and we could do check-ins with and stuff. I think that would be such a huge help. And well, if we have all the connections and we're just passing it off to that reporter, I mean, that's great for them as well to already have that made and know who to contact, and here's their information and here's what's going on. And I do
Right.
have to say, little Megan that came out to visit with us and did our news reporter, she was very sweet, Steve. I like her.
Oh, good.
I'll give her a thumbs up for Greene County.
Good. Good. That's good to hear. Yeah. And even if it's, events that are going on that may not be something that would cover, but it's something that this particular person could at least stop in and hang out for a while and meet people and,
Yeah,
different things like that. I just think it's
yeah.
important for us. I call it, and again, these guys get tired of me saying this, but too bad. It's the old school way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's the old school way of building relationships, which is key. And and with this, I don't mean this bad, but people right out of college, they just, it's a struggle sometimes for them to understand that. So that's a big thing that I'm pushing is it's all about the relationships. It's all about working with people. It's all about not burning bridges, being honest with them. And again, Sorry. We're, you know, I met with a local police department recently and said, look, we've got to really work together here because we're here to help you on situations, but in turn, there may be a time that we're going to have to be doing a story that's not going to be positive, but you got to battle through it and move on. I don't want to do it either, but we have to. Um, but in the end, we're here to help. And that's sort of this situation. I think building relationships, the majority of the stories, especially with you guys, are going to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, we need those types of stories. Our viewers want those. And I think the public needs those.
Well, and I think what you're saying too, I think we've assumed so much just societally, right, that everything's going to be seen on social media or whatever, but it's like like you said, there's a population that's watching the news. And you all don't just do the news stories, right? You're putting it online as well, and maybe talk about that. Because like I know when she came out and interviewed us about our expansion, it wasn't just on your news evening news. It was also online, and then we could share that
right,
out too after it was done. So
right.
maybe talk about that, how kind of a story goes multiple places.
Yeah, so we will go out, we will cover the story with the reporter. And the technical term, just so everybody knows, for the reporter now is called a multimedia journalist, MMJ, because they do everything. They will also they'll go out to, like I mentioned, shoot your story, edit it, write it, it will air. Then our digital team picks it up. And then from there, they post it on our webpage and then we share on Facebook as well. We also, with our company, we have a bureau in Washington that will look at we can see everybody's day book in the state of Ohio. They can see everybody's across the country. So if there's a story that may have national ties, let's say the situation that's going on with the Haitian people in Springfield, and that's been a big story. If we do something, they will reach out to us and ask our reporter to share that story with them. So there's multiple ways. And I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because I did forget one thing. So right now we do an OBS show. It's called 2 News Now, which airs Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. You can pick it up on your smart TV, on Roku, Apple TV. And that is a show that does news. We do it live right here in our newsroom. It does news, like top 5 news stories. We always have one of our reporters who's covering a story that day on there to talk about that. We do weather. We did sports, obviously, because of the NCAA basketball and things like that. But they also have guests on. So that could be, and you can teams into that. Somebody was asking earlier about Living Dayton. This could be a way to bring up a story that they could talk about on that as well. And we do other shows too on that. So we have a sports show. We have our weather department does a show. Jack Pohl, our main anchor, does a show called Pole Position, which is supposed to be about sports, but a lot of times it goes off track because he's just a crazy person. We do Melissa Barrington, who's one of our meteorologists, does a show called Under the Umbrella, and she has had like Five Rivers Metro Park people in. She's had farmers in, a variety of different things. So there's a lot of things that we're doing differently. We have a gaming show. We've got several of our young staff who are gamers. And it could be, the video games, or it could be the board game type of shows, which I know nothing about. But we're just doing a lot of stuff. And that OBS, we started it about 8 months ago. We've had a station in our company in Florida that's been doing it for a while. But for example, when we had the snowstorms, we jumped on there for 2 hours at a time, and people could log on their smart TV, and we could continue to do news that way, where on a Sunday morning, it's hard for us unless it's really, really big breaking news to cut into Meet the Press and things like that on NBC. So that's a whole new aspect, especially for people who are at work. Instead of picking up your phone, you might be able to, turn your TV on and listen or whatever the case may be. So that I see that really moving towards the future, to be honest with you.
Hmm. Now, that's very interesting. I think that, and I think, what you're saying, I think is just expanding our ideas of what's possible, right? And I think,
Right.
for businesses, if you're not thinking about, once you get covered, on a story, it's like make sure you're sharing that out and boosting that to your following and put on your website and all that as well.
Right.
Because I mean, it's just that credibility factor and that I see with a lot of businesses when they get that coverage, it just says something that the local news cared enough to cover it.
Correct. Correct. And that's really, I mean, it's a win-win for all of us. I mean, it really is. And that's, the community involvement from our company, from our general manager, our news director, is something that is big. Our company does a day or yearly project, I forget the name of it, where they go out in the community, and we have every staff member has to do it. And you may go to a school and plant flowers and put mulch down, or go to the food bank and do that, or whatever. So they're very, very much involved and want to be involved in the community, which leads me to also, our staff, our on-air staff, sometimes if you have an event that you think, hey, I wonder if somebody from Channel 2 might come and MC it or whatever, those are all possibilities too. We have a promotion department that could handle maybe, getting somebody out if you're having, like you guys, for example, if you have an awards dinner or, whatever, you guys wanted, one of our staff on-air people to host it, we could look at doing that as well. And that gets us out in the public. That shows that, people like Jack Pohl, Jack's from here. He's from Centerville. He grew up here. Jamie Jurosik, our meteorologist, grew up in Kettering. Brian Davis grew up in Troy. Brian's been here 45 years. Those people are here. They're vested in the community and want to stay here. So
I like that idea. Did you hear that, Chris, about an MC for an event?
I knew where your brain was
We have
going,
a
Wendy.
big event, and I'm the MC, Steve. And by the time I'm done, my throat is so
He's tired of
sore.
talking, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I love that idea.
yeah,
But I'm gonna put that in my email too and be like, let's plan it. I've got a big email coming.
Hey, Steve, one thing that before I forget it too, I know that we've got a couple of channel members who have been brought on. I don't know if it's to WDTN or other channels, but as basically community experts on certain,
Yeah.
topics, right?
Mhm.
Is there, how do those people get selected? How do you make those connections if you have that kind of expertise, maybe in a specific industry or field?
I think that that's an area that we would, like you and I could work on together, knowing who those people are and what areas. We reach out to the universities quite a bit. Mark Weinstein at Cedarville does a phenomenal job of having his professors and people who are experts. And Wright State and UD, we reach out to them as well. But if there's, a list that we could get, or, some ideas and stuff like that, and we could even, set up meetings and sit down and talk to people and all that. I mean, I think that would be great. I also, I told you and Wendy, and I'll extend the offer to whoever. I invite people to come down here, come down and watch a newscast live. Now, I can't take a huge group. I could probably take, 8 to 10 people, but I think it would be important for people, or I know it is important for the business folks to see what we go through on a daily basis as far as getting everything together. Because, we go on at 4:00, starting about 2:30, 3:00. It's pretty chaotic in here, making sure everything gets done, because we do a lot with a very limited staff. But it's also good to see the control room on how, the technology side works. And then even in the studio with, Jack and Lauren on at 4, 5, and 6, and our meteorologists and sports folks. It that way you get a good sense. I mean, and we could even do it during the daytime too. Like the Living Dayton folks, we could stand back and watch those guys do the magazine style show as well.
We like field trips, so we'll definitely be coming down.
Sign me up, Steve. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
You
am.
guys
Steve.
just let me know. We'll try to give me a couple dates. We'll try to work it out.
Okay.
Coffee with
Yeah.
Champions field trip.
There you go. That's right. Our Coffee of Champions program. We can take a field trip right afterwards. Hey, Steve, one thing I'm thinking too, and not to put you on the spot, but I'm just wondering like if, is there something maybe we could send out from an email standpoint that kind of recaps some of the things you're talking about as to our membership that, hey, here's here's the type of things we're looking for. Here's how to connect with the news team. Is there anything maybe you could provide us with some copy with that so we could share that too? Because I think this is very valuable information that we don't, leave it to just even this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see, let me get with promotions and see if they still have anything. We used to have stuff like that. If not, I can write something up. That's not a problem. And again, you know me, like if you guys have like an after hours, or if you guys have anything else you do that you can give me 5 minutes just to pop in and say, hey, to show myself. I mean, like I said, I'm a Greene County guy. I mean, I unfortunately I didn't move out there when I moved back because I couldn't find a house. But I am, like I said, born and raised and all that. So I'm trying to get out there to do more. And then, there's a couple other counties that have grown since I left, and we're trying to make progress there. It's all about just, again, getting out and meeting people. But yeah, I can look at doing something like that for sure.
Yeah.
He mentioned
I just think
after hours. Think business links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. Our business links that we do once a month, you could certainly do that
Okay.
and be that, you and or, one of your whoever gets assigned to our county and whatever, that would be great too. Just
He can
just so
definitely come
people
out next month.
What's that?
He can definitely come out next month to Business Links to Hillside Farms.
That's right. Tara. See, here's a news story right here on the meeting right now, Steve, because Tara's over there opening up a new community over here. So
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Yes. And we're in Beaver Creek. We're in Greene County. So see, I got your apartment. You can live here too. See? I got you covered in all aspects, sir.
Hey, you can't give him mine. Can't give him mine.
I won't give him yours, I promise.
Okay.
Tara's a salesperson through and through. Good job.
It
Way
sounds
to
like
slide
it.
that right in
Yeah.
there, Tara.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
No, but it is. It's exciting, right? I mean, what they're doing and building out there is amazing and exciting, and we do that once a month too. And we've talked about that. We just want to make sure our members have the resources, and I think this could be an overlooked, or maybe people think, well, why are we newsworthy versus other breaking news kind of things? And I think you've given us a good insight today on you want to share what's happening in the community, and local news is a great outlet.
Well, don't ever think that nothing is newsworthy. Let us decide that. I mean, seriously. I mean, and there may be times that we cannot get to it. You may have a ribbon cutting and it may be great and we just can't get to it, but at least we know. And again, we have the digital route that we could still do a story.
Yeah.
So, and the digital numbers are really, really good. So a lot of people, see they log on, they read, the digital pages, obviously throughout the day when everybody's at work. I mean, everybody's on your phone looking at what's going on in news. And that's why we started that OBS 11 a.m. show. And who knows, like I said, I think that you're going to start seeing more come out of that, especially with local programs, so to speak. And again, it's ways for our sales department to, sell advertising for that as well, and go from there. Because again, that's how we survive. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been very interesting. Anybody else have any other questions? Any final words, Wendy, on your end?
No, I just want to say how great it was because I think there is a stigma that people are afraid to reach out to the news and like
A
they don't want
hundred percent.
to me or you don't know who to call and you get nervous. And it was just a breath of fresh air for you to come out, Steve. You've been wonderful. And like I said, the reporters that we've had with Megan and everyone else has just been incredible. So it's not scary. I want to make sure people take that stigma away. And it's just a huge props to you and WDTN for you guys being so willing to reach out and make it easy and comfortable. So I appreciate that so very much. So don't be afraid.
You're
Like
welcome.
you said, I mean, no matter what it is, whether you think it's newsworthy or not, just send it in and let them decide because you never know. It could be picked up on the digital side, it could be turned into something on Living Dayton, or it could be a video. I mean, there's so many options. So don't be afraid to reach out and I'm going to take you up on that tour, Steve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do. Everybody
Maybe
should.
I
I mean,
can zoom
it's
in real quick and have my like 20, my 3 seconds on the air.
you
Why
mean
is Wendy
you're gonna
running
walk
on the
in front of the
stage?
camera accidentally?
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you might need to have security close by to restrain her.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the funny thing is, this is an old skating rink. They built this back in 1949 as a skating rink, and then it fell apart, and they put the station in here then. So when you come see it, it's like a little dome shaped
Oh, that's right.
uh,
That's right.
business. So it's pretty weird, but like we have a big studio because we have the Living Dayton set in there and our set, and it's just and they've remodeled the newsroom. It's been great, and I was just thinking too, like the business links thing. Maybe I'd like to see if my general manager could come out too, because I think from the business side, she can explain things a lot better than I can, because she's been with Nexstar for a few years. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just all about building the relationships and being positive about your community. And when I was in Tuscaloosa, we really pushed that. I was really involved with the chamber down there and the positive stories. And again, like I go back to this OBS. Maybe there's a way that once a month, Wendy, you or Chris or one of your members could come on that show and just talk about
Yeah,
things. That's what we're looking for.
that
Like
would be
we are
great.
looking for interviews and things like that. We did it in Tuscaloosa where we did it once a week, but they would come on and talk about whatever they had going on. So
It could be Wendy's next step to global domination.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, let's do it, Steve. Let's do it. I'm all
you
about
could
it.
you could be an Emmy award winning
See,
chamber
There you
president.
go. There you
I
go.
love it. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Adding that to your podcast going global.
That's
That's
right.
right.
32
Right.
countries. I mean, what can we say?
And we have a plan to expand that, by the way, to get members to travel more and download our podcast while you're
That's
traveling.
right.
Awesome.
Mike, did you have anything? I know you unmuted there.
No, I'm good. I think this has been great, though. I mean, it really gets you thinking about all the different ways you can use this if you think about it.
Mhm.
Well, I think there's a lot of upside for our members in taking advantage of this, as
Mhm.
Wendy said, if they're not intimidated by it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like Wendy said too, it's not intimidating when the reporters come out and talk to you. It's like they make it easy for you, right? It's like they just ask you some questions, you answer those questions, and and then
Yeah.
they put the story together. So it's great. I mean, it was actually a very quick experience too. It didn't take a long time. So we
Yeah,
just encourage everybody.
don't be afraid. Everybody has that stigma too. Oh my God, I don't want to be on video. I don't want to see myself on video. I've done video so much
You're the
now, I
worst.
don't care. And don't be scared because like Chris always says, we're our own worst critic. Nobody else cares. Everybody else just wants to see the story and just see your smiling face, and that's it. So don't be worried about even being on video. It's not scary at all. Just do it and be confident and talk about your business or whatever's going on and just enjoy it.
And you don't have to watch your video, right, Wendy?
No, I don't. No.
Just get it out into the
Very
world. You don't
rarely.
have to study it.
Very rarely. I'm like, I did it. I said it. I know it's done.
We
Um,
might put it up. Chris might put it up on that video board out there at Factory in 35 and let it
no,
loop
Yeah,
up
that's
there
there.
you
true.
go.
You know what? Chris knows that if he does something like that, there's paybacks in
That would
stores,
be
Steve. And it has been proven to work.
I could put I could put AI Wendy
Me
up
and
on
my
the video
little
board. I like
AI.
this.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Steve, thanks again for joining us today and giving us this information. It's been excellent. We'll be once again, we've been recording this, so we're gonna put this on our YouTube channel so everybody can watch it later if they missed it. And then also just want to remind those who are with us watching this, next month in April, our next one is going to be with Joshua Lysek, who is with Lysek Ghostwriting. He's a ghostwriter, but he's been talking to a lot of small business people about how to use AI to save time and money recently. And so he's going to come on and talk about what he's been learning and doing and implementing as he's, it's such a big topic and people are oftentimes confused on how do I best use AI and all those things. So that's going to be our April topic. So we're excited about him coming on because he's got some real strategic things to do there. So, but we are glad you guys came today and are watching. If you're watching the recording, thanks for checking it out. And then Steve, thanks again. And we're going to be in touch for all the things we've talked about today. The
Oh,
tour,
it's been my pleasure. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
the
been great.
contacts, everything.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure, and it's been great. And yeah, just hit me up, and I don't mind if you want to send my email out to whoever to, and all that,
Yeah.
and I'll work on that other thing that you wanted. So
Yeah, that'd be great. We appreciate it. So.
Oh, that was dangerous.
absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll have this recording up soon in the next day or so. And then we appreciate your time being here.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Have a great
Thanks,
rest of
guys.
the
Good to
week.
see you.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you. Thanks, Steve.
You bet.